Why do we spend so much money on plugins when we don't even really use all of them all like that? So like, this is a song that I did. Pretty good mix, you know what I'm saying? Real solid. I got Pro Q3 on there. I got RVox on there. I got Vox Box, and then Pro DS. That's like my vocal chain right there. Like, and then you come over here to my vocal bus and you see what I got on there. I got that transient master just to make sure it's hitting the VU meter right. I got Godfoss on there. Pro Q3 again. Box again. Top line vocal suit, and then more DSing. And then like when you come over to like the regular sounds, like all these little peach looking ones, these are drums, right? Pro Q3, 76, a little bit of Pan Man, and then a little bit of Spectre for some saturation. Like a little bit of clipping going on. Most of the drums got this, a similar treatment as far as like which plugins I used on them. Like, but the thing I'm getting at is like, if I go into my plugin arsenal, it's insane. Like, look at all the plugins I have just for UAD. All these mastering plugins and compressors and EQs on top of EQs, and that's just UAD. We come over to some other stuff, some analog obsessions, a lot of stock stuff from Apple, some random different companies, Cable Guys, Bertom. All these Fab Filter stuff. Isotope. That's crazy. I remember paying like probably a couple $100 for Neutron, and I don't even use it. Am I tripping for not using it? Maybe I'm missing out. I don't know. But like, I really have just become like a minimalist because look at all these Waves plugins. That's insane. That's insane. I don't use half of these plugins. There was one point in time where I thought that just because I had a whole bunch of plugins, like I had to use them all. It would be like, oh yeah, I got that decapitator plugin from Sound Toys. Like, let me put that on my drums too. Oh yeah, I wonder if I put this extra little thing on my vocal, what it's gonna do. All you're gonna end up doing by putting a whole bunch of stuff on top of your vocal and on top of other instruments that don't need it, it's not analog. It's not analog. Plugins are digital, so they're going to come with some like artifacts and some digital distortion if you just stack them on top of each other. Like, it's way better for you to do the least amount that you need to do. Like, if you don't absolutely need something to enhance the sound or to clean the sound up, then don't do it. Just don't even do it. Like, I find myself listening to mixes where I'm looking at the mix thinking like, man, I know I did something crazy on here. Like, it'll be something I did like a little ways back. I'm like thinking to myself, like, I know I put some crazy plugins on here. And then I look at the session and it be super duper minimal. And I'm sitting here looking like, yo, I've been tripping for real. Like, I've been doing way too much. So like, me getting back to my minimalism where like I'm doing just what I need to do. I'm EQing out. I'm only adding the compression if I need it. Like, you see, I got a sound over here. I didn't add any compression on. You see, like when you come to my buses, I didn't even add like really any compression on my buses. Like, I got a whole sound right here that didn't get any compression on it at all. Like, I'm literally only using compression when I need to use it. And I'm only EQing out, what I don't like. And then after EQ, that's when I would compress. And then after that, I would add some saturation. And then from there, the only other thing you really got to do is add like some imaging or some delay. or something like that. And I mean, this mix right here is fire. Glory to God, we celebrating for my hard-working people that's not trying to fake it. Know the devil outside, he been trying to take us, but we working for the Lord. He can't find a way to us. Fighting forces of evil through their eyesight. I can see several sources of demons. We the night lights come with the seven spirits of Jesus, make it sight right. Now you can see the deception peaking, huh? Predisposed to be opposed to Jesus, who you know to be in control, and soon to be defeated, moving with the beat of the soul. Cause we the chosen people, choose to be the people that's chosen, cause we choosing Jesus. Let's see what these posers when they go through. Cooking politicians that proposition your soul to. From the high positions, they orders come to control you. You get it, but used to go through. When you gonna practice rebellion and make your own moves. No amount of celibate charm, whatever give me the vote. For those that go against God, I follow God's rules. We done got so many souls, we need a mansion. No more parties in Hollywood, we can't stand it. I done seen so many broken after abortions. I done seen. All right, listen, man. I'm really trying to save you before this Black Friday rolls around. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't experiment. Okay? Because if I would have never experimented with the plugins that I've experimented with, I would never know what worked for me and what didn't work for me. I would never know the current setup that I know right now. So I have had to kind of like sift through different plugins, and even certain seasons where, man, I was using a certain plugin chain for like well over a year. You feel me? And then like at a certain point I was just like, nah, I need to kind of switch it up a little bit and see like what else I could do. And then over time, I'll switch it up again, and then I'll be like, "Ooh, yeah, this vocal chain sound better than the last one I had," or whatever, you know. So it's not that I'm trying to get people to not buy plugins or whatnot. I'm just trying to show you that, like, trying to remind you, like, bro, it don't really be taking that. It really don't be taking that much to get a clean sound. Like, you seen this mix sounded clean, it sound good. I got it's like a clean low end. The vocal sounds clean. The vocal sound real crisp. You know, it's saturated. It's full. You know what I'm saying? I can play it next to like other industry records, and it sounds good. Like I can play it next to whatever, and it sounds good after playing it next to like you name my artist, and I could play my record next to it, and it sounds just as good. And I'm not sitting there using like a crazy amount of stuff. I'm just fundamentally doing the right things. I'm taking out the frequencies that I need to take out. I'm compressing where necessary. First and foremost, I'm balancing the mix and gain staging. You know what I'm saying? I'm creating depth in the mix with the use of like a little bit of delay and reverb here and there. Then I'm gluing things together and leaving enough headroom for the mastering, and then mastering it. And it's like, it doesn't really have to be that complicated to get a good mix, you know? So yeah, dude, like before you come and go dropping like a whole bunch of money on this Black Friday, once again, don't say Dre was telling me I should never experiment, and so then I wasn't experimenting, and 2 years later I finally use it, and like, man, I'm missing out on stuff because of that. Listen, once again, I'm telling you, like, you should experiment, but like if they have a trial, do the trial. I always use trials because a lot of plugins do be like snake oil, or maybe it's just not for me, at least at that time. You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, like, it's certain plugins that I done bought that, like, if I wouldn't have bought a bunch of plugins that I don't even use right now, I probably would have another, I don't know, at least 2-3 bands, which I could have took that 2 and 3 bands and I could have used it on a piece of hardware. You know what I'm saying? Some cool like piece of hardware that I could use to make my mix sound better, because I could put it on the mix bus or something. I don't know. Like I could probably have like another microphone, like anything. Like there's other things to spend it on, So yeah, dude, I was just trying to save you real quick.